thanks for joining us for another Vintage Legends. We, as always, run this through the Vintage Guitar Players group, which you can find on Facebook. So it's facebook.com/group/slash the vintage place. You got your plug there. We're on Instagram as well at 95 Vintage Legends, and all the usual stuff they tell you to do in YouTube channels. We'd love you to subscribe and all the rest of it. So you can give us a thumbs up. So please feel do. But most important thing today, I'm here with Paul Guerin. Paul, thank you so much for joining us. I know you are currently in Texas and I'm in Glasgow, which is a bit of a time difference. And I think you mentioned you're a bit of a
Yes,
late night as well. So I really even more appreciation that you're here with me just now.
but it wasn't a late night party. It was a late night getting tattooed, right? And it was you know what? It was brilliant.
It's like
And
right.
here's the thing: it's been a bunch of years since I had a tattoo, and I was expecting the torture of the old school thing. You know what? Times have changed.
Yeah,
No pain,
yeah.
just a lot of
So
fun. And one of the tattoos is a bass player, so he's coming over to the studio to play some bass for me on a new track.
even better. See, it's
You know,
ways and means of networking.
you know what? Life is good.
That's all you could ask for, isn't it? But listen, I really, like I say, I do appreciate you joining us. We
Oh, yeah.
always just like to kind of get things started just by talking to folk a little bit about their musical journey. So for the uninitiated, obviously the choir boys and like what our musical journeys will tell us more about it.
Okay,
The
well,
Black Eyed
obviously,
Sons.
the last 25 years, I was in the choir boys. Now, Black Eyed Sons, debut album coming out on 31st of this month, right? I'm buzzing about that, right? Um, but it's been really a huge journey. Nashville with Steve Earle, Bob Kennedy. I mean, so many different things that haven't been documented that I've been actually privileged enough to be part of, you know, and I've learned so much from it, with different musicians, guitar players, bass players, singers, everything. It's too much to actually condense, you know. And I mean, I was in a band called World of Leather. Terrible name, brilliant band. Everybody in there in that band in '93. I was playing with Brian Robertson from Thin Lizzy
Yeah.
in a band called The Clan. Just if you actually sit back and if I actually sit back and go flipping, I was playing with Michael Schenker
Yeah.
in Japan and America. It's just I've been blessed.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's the I always think it's the mark of a good person to have such opportunities and to take them and have fun with them, but to be, so grounded about things, because you see the excesses that some folk go to and
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. I mean, they're the names, but it's like I'm in a band with Joe Elliott from Def Leppard. Whatever your musical taste is, not just me, uh, Guy and Keith. You can choose anybody in the world. You can make a phone call, but they wanted to play with us. You know,
exactly. Well, he wants that for a reason, and that's the thing. And with Black Eyed Sun, so again, people can find all, but obviously your kind of back catalogue and stuff as well. But Black Eyed Suns is what you mean jam is just now. So tell us more about that.
well, obviously, it's well documented. The split from the choir boys. Now, contractually, we had to carry on as the choir boys. But, we were already writing the songs for this album, which would
Yeah,
have, if everything was hunky dory, would have been the next Choir Boys album. But we had to see it out. We had to do, I'm saying it sounds like I didn't enjoy it, but we had a big American tour. We had to do a European tour and everything. So we did it, and then in that time we were ironing out all the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
So then when we, weren't going to lose our houses and everything, we became the Black Eyed Sons.
It must have been a bit of a relief to get to that point. Because as much as, like you say, of course you're going to enjoy the tour and the experience, but to get to that point where you can contractually go, ah, if I can do what I want now.
You know what? It is, doesn't matter what you do, you're a human being.
Yeah.
And you've got people on the internet, death threats. I mean, unbelievable stuff, right? And you're going, you haven't got a clue what's going on.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But, I'm just a normal person that gets up in the morning and you're sitting there, telling me, and you haven't got a clue, right?
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, but you're right. When it came to that point when we could go, right. But at the same time, we knew what point we were aiming for. And the whole thing is, this new album, there's so many guests on it. It wasn't a master plan. It was just, it started, with Buck Cherry. And then it kind of just grew.
Cool.
And then people were contacting us going, well, if he's doing a track, I want to do one. And it became...
Why am I not on it?
Exactly, why am I not on it, right? And it turned into fun again.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the name of the game,
It really is at the end of the day, right? It just became fun. And it's just like, I mean, Johnny, it was the best. He went, well, what you got for me? Okay, we've got a cracker for you. Don't worry.
I've not forgotten you.
And then bang, all of a sudden, here we have it. Steve, see, it's like Steve Conte, New York Dolls, Michael Monroe, all of that, right? Guy, it wasn't me. Guy contacted him and says, do you want to play guitar on a track? He went, I'd love to. He goes, but I've got a song. You got to hear this. So he sent this song over, and the guy sent it to me. I went, we've got to do it. Humdinger, why not?
Yeah.
Of course, people are waiting. They go, you didn't write this. I don't care. I mean,
We're hoping there's some space on you for this album.
oh, trust me. But that was the beauty, on that track, right? I put the solo down, and I think it's probably the best solo I've ever done on any record.
I'm interested.
Right, but here's the thing. Lee Vernon, harmonica player,
Okay.
he played a better one. So I was bumped off. But I'm saying I totally get it. But you know what? He's not going to be at every show.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. It was totally Rick Richards from the Georgia Satellites, what I did. But I'll get to play that every night.
That's the thing. You get one take at the record and then it's your fun.
I just see the bigger picture, you know what I mean? The harmonica, so it was just outstanding.
Yeah.
I got bumped off. Don't matter.
Yeah, like you say, you have your moment times a million
Yeah.
the gigs. So
You know,
better.
the thing is, I love listening to him play the harmonica. So,
yeah. Listen, I'm honestly pretty buzzing about the album, so I'll be getting ready to listen to it on the 31st. With things obviously with Vintage, how did you stumble upon them in the first instance?
well, again,
It's
I
15
didn't
years ago,
stumble.
you said.
I literally, I moved from London to Harrogate. So, if you're not in London, you're not popping into Gibson, you're not popping into whatever. I moved to Harrogate, and Dave Bucket Caldwell, he says, "Oh boy, he says, you know, I've got to deal with vintage and that. You know, you want to check them out. And I'm saying I wanted to buy my stepson Xander a guitar because you know I just met his mother and whatever, right? And he was totally interested in what I was doing and everything. It was kind of new to him. So I contacted Gav Coulson and I says, look, you know, it's me. He says, you know, come over. So I took a drive over and I went in there just to buy him a guitar. And I came out with a deal and 3 guitars. Right? And the relationship started there. And it's been, you know, it's been superb for 15 years. You know.
And
And
what do you think then? Like, I know, obviously, I know that you've, like you say, had deals with all sorts of different guitar companies over the years. You've been with Gibson, sorry, with Vintage now for 15 years. What's making you call that home with the kind of choice of
well, a lot
guitars?
of reasons, right? You know, we could work it forward or backwards, right? I'll tell you this because people, people, right? They'll go, you only use them because you get them for free. I don't get them for free. I use them because I love them. You know, they've never let me down. And if I wanted, if they come up with something new, I can actually afford that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's the
Right.
thing. You know, you know, I went to in Newcastle. I went to Guitar, and I had the new range, and they were £10,000. And we had, like you know, it's like this. I mean, it's a pure rock and roll machine. But actually, my girlfriend got me this for Christmas, right? That's another story, a great story, right? I wasn't expecting that, but if they come out with a new model, I can afford it.
Yeah.
But that's not the point. The point is, these guitars have been round the world with me many, many times, battered by every airline going.
Baggage throwers.
Well, trust me, right? The cases are beat to death. The guitars come out, they're still in tune, still sound great. The last 10 albums, basically the V52 has been the only guitar I've used on the last 10 albums.
Awesome. You've got to
Yeah.
have that confidence though, especially because like you say, like traveling about the world and stuff is obviously like
Yeah.
enough pressure with your gear making it in one piece. But for all these things, like you get to the other side of the world and you've got a problem, like where you're going to pay some money to get a new one, or if you're in the
Yeah.
studio and something goes wrong, well, you're paying to actually be there by the hour sort of thing, So you
Yeah.
don't want something's falling apart on you.
But the thing is, they've never fallen apart. They've literally, they're stalwarts. They're superb. And I wouldn't use them if I didn't love them.
Exactly. And do you have any modifications there of them, or are they all just stock,
Well,
or
I've got to be honest, no.
that's fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, one of the V52s, I've got a bare knuckle pickup, right? And it was specifically that I wanted to get a certain sound out of it
Yeah.
for a certain recording I'd done years ago, right? But everything else is stock.
That's the only thing I do with any of mine, even is just if it's like 4 wire pickups for a humbucker, I'll get it coil split. If it's two, I'll get an extra capacitor fitted for a bass bleed and just a push pull pot. That's about the only thing I ever do to make any kind of
Yeah.
changes.
The thing is, because they've got such a range, right? You sort of try this, this V100 or that one, I'll pick them for whatever album we're going to do. You know, if that's the sound I want, that's the sound you're going to get.
Yeah,
You know what I mean,
exactly.
you know,
Consistency helps in it.
and I was saying, I'm busy. I mean, the new album's not even out for a couple of weeks, but I'm spending my days. And here's the thing, like, you know, this is leading the way in what I'm writing for the next one.
That's awesome. And see if you, well, if I have to put it one way, if you had the option to make a pro shop version, you get your own kind of custom one made, or if you had the Paul Guerin like signature model, would you would see all that? I'm curious.
Now, be the 12-year-old that I am when it comes to guitar, you know, that'll never change. As I was saying, when I got here at Christmas, just after Christmas, and Amy, I opened the box and she got me this, right? It was the same feeling that when I first got my first guitar that my mom got us when I was
That's
12.
amazing.
It's beautiful. What I would love if Vintage did their version of a Firebird, right?
Never thought.
That's that's what I would like, right?
Have you seen the pro shop that I got made up?
I haven't.
Ooh, give me a minute. This is the bit where I'm gonna say if we when I'm editing this, I'm gonna like edit me out running away to get the guitar
Okay.
back. So
Well,
2 seconds.
listen. I'll have a drink of water.
Yeah, 2 seconds.
Yeah, you're gonna make me jealous. I know what you're doing.
Was that?
You're gonna make me jealous.
Well, fade back in. Yeah, so this is the pro shop one I got made up.
Yeah, beautiful.
Very shiny. So
Yeah,
that's the sort of thing. I would desperately, desperately love them to do some. This is part of the range. It's one of the kind of pro shop build they did basically, based upon the old Fret King Esprit, which again, I
which
know,
which I actually have.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon then? Do you think something like this sort of shape would be your kind of jam then, if they did one?
But the thing is, it's it's a homage to that, but it's just like I would like something really. I know they can't do it exactly
Yeah,
the same, right? But they're clever enough to just do it as close.
just a little tweak.
Quick, you know, and that would sort of like solidify my collection.
Well, see, you say that, but the problem is if they did that and then they had options and what different finishes available and stuff like that, my
Oh,
problem would be is I'd be skint because I'd have to buy them all.
yeah,
There
already skinned.
we go then. Who needs two kidneys? It's
But it's like I was sitting with my girlfriend and she's going, "What are you thinking about?" I went, "Gun Hill Blue, distressed." You know what I mean? Yeah. What finish do you want and all that?
yeah,
But I think it's a good thing.
yeah, exactly. There's worse
You
things to
got
be thinking about.
you got okay, you're writing your next album, you're trying to improve yourself. I mean, every day I try to learn a new country lick, and these fellas are so amazing. I
Yeah.
get I get the hump. Like, so then I'll switch off and think about guitars and whatnot. But there's worse things to do.
Yeah, exactly. There's a whole lot of worse things. Do you reckon then? So something Firebird adjacent for your own kind of signature model or something like that if you had one.
Sorry, say that again.
So do you reckon then if you had the option to get if you were going to get a pro shop one, if you could get something along the lines of a sort of Firebirdish kind of thing, what kind of
Listen,
finish, what kind of
yeah,
options are you talking about? What
well,
kind of
things
hardware?
right now because I totally love. the Gun Hill Blue,
Yeah.
right? I just think it's fabulous, right? But if I could buy three, right, I'd have, the classic Sunburst with Distressed. I'd have the Gun Hill Blue, but I've got this thing buzzing in my head like an olive green.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
That'd be nice. They did
like a hoodie.
yeah, they did I'm pretty sure they've done one for the pro shops for someone in that sort of a kind of colour as well. But yeah, that'd be amazing. For that sort of that'd be amazing.
I think that would be beautiful, like a deep olive green.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I need to get saving. Uh, yeah, I
we're,
think
we're both drifting off thinking.
I know, we'll get ourselves in trouble. I think the interesting thing is this will be the last interview I do before NAM comes up next week. So I'm curious to see what we'll see. If it's going to
Yeah.
be kind of new stuff or tweaking some existing models or what we get. So
Well,
I'll
the thing
be
is, the Revo ones. I mean, I've only played the acoustic, but they look stunning.
yeah, they're really cool, aren't they?
And this is what I love about vintage and everything, right? They haven't stood still,
Yeah,
right? The naysayers will go, well, they're just copies of this. Well, okay, you can say that, right? But they've progressed and dug deep and moved forward with the guitars. They haven't stood still, like a million other companies. You know what I mean? And
it's nice to have that take on things as well.
but the thing is, this is what excites me, and always will till, I pop me clogs, right? And as I say, it's like, when Amy got me this for Christmas, right? I mean, I did it the same thing I do with any guitar. I feel the neck. It suits my hand. And then you go, and it rings like a bell.
Sweet one.
So the thing is, no matter what I plug it into, right, it already sounds great.
Sweet one, man. And do you reckon then, obviously, music wise, with what you've got in the obviously in the bag for the album coming out in a few weeks, have you got stuff planned for tours and such?
Well, that's what I'm waiting to hear. So, basically, because the album comes out 31st of January, it takes time to plan tours and,
Yeah, logistics and visas
you know
and
what
this, that, and the next thing.
behind the scenes, I know there's a whole lot of stuff being negotiated,
Yeah, that's
right?
fair.
But the lovely thing is, it gives me the time to spend time in Texas. Hey, the old days, the studio was a studio.
Yeah,
It's a computer, it's whatnot, right? I can work all day long here. I actually, and I know people will go, ooh. I did most of the Cowboys album here,
yeah. It's just
right?
it's phenomenal what you can do.
You know what? And I like it. I embrace it, right? And Rick Taylor, Fort Worth, it's 2 hours from here. He gave me a bunch of vintage guitars, bass, 52s, acoustics, everything, whatever I needed. And I did 90% of my guitars here where I'm sitting.
It's awesome, man.
It's like the money isn't there from the record companies anymore. It's not their fault they don't have it, right?
Yeah,
But if you want to make a great record, you can make one.
yeah,
And I feel
exactly.
we're happy.
Exactly. And listen, I'm really, really super excited to get to hear it when it comes out. So
Yeah.
she'll be poised for purchase. Um, I take it folks, if they want to obviously find Black Eyed Sons, folks can just find you guys know the usual places.
Yeah. Well, I actually emailed you yesterday. I don't know if you got the stuff,
Yeah,
right, with all the links and everything.
yeah,
But again, it's not hard to find.
yeah, exactly.
You know, if you're 40 years younger than me, you know, the modern world, you just click on something.
It's a world I still need some help with sometimes, believe me.
I know, but it's just
um,
me and Amy were talking yesterday. I says, something. I says, when I was a teenager, right? Records came out on a Monday, so whether it was Thin Lizzy, UFO, Cheap Trick, whatever, and you knew the album was coming out, right? Yeah, you were so excited. It was the buzz was just incredible, and that's what I miss about now because people don't go to the record shop on the Monday
yeah, I
to
know,
get it.
and that's the one thing I miss as well.
Yeah,
Is I try and buy as much as I can physically,
yeah,
and I'll stick it onto my laptop and I can stick it onto my phone afterwards, sort of thing. But I do try still get as much as I can physically because you know something I like. It's not like what happens if my PC goes down or something or my phone's knackered and I lose it all. It's not that so much. It's more just like I like the
yeah.
album artwork and you get the lyrics and stuff on it. You can get to
I would
um,
have ordered it in my hands, but the thing
uh,
is, it's like holding this in your hands, right? You know what I mean? It's
it's
until they decide, we don't need this. You just got to press some buttons. You know what I mean?
I know it's interesting. Well, listen,
It's,
let me say thank you so much for coming on board for this interview today because I really do appreciate it and like I say, especially in um, the fact that you had a kind of a later night last night and all the rest of it. I really do appreciate
no,
it.
listen, hey, every night's a late night, but I'm just saying, let everybody know. I mean, we weren't dancing the like fandango. We're a tattoo parlor, and that's the beautiful thing. Part of what I love here, it's like being in Glasgow, Newcastle, right? The people here are the greatest. There's an affinity.
Yeah.
So we got there late because I had to do this, I had to get a slide, I had to do this, whatnot, right? And we went, are you open? Well, we're about to close. Well, we're both going to get tattooed. And then we got talking, and the crack was mighty. Like 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm still there, getting my arm tortured. But it was just another great night.
Yeah.
You know what I
What
mean?
makes the difference
Just,
though is, like I say, it's just this something is lost sometimes is just being able to interact. I say this obviously like talking to you from the other side of the globe right now, sort of thing, like device
yeah.
to device sort of thing. Like that's not lost on us either. But it's the convenience is awesome, but it's just like in more in everyday interactions, it's good just to be able to, actually kind of
And
communicate with people and
yeah,
support
that's
people.
what I'm all about.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it was just like, you know, I was totally interested in all their stories. And some of them were apprentices and whatnot. One of them, she's a comedian. I think
Yeah.
wouldn't see we're gonna go and see her next Monday at the comedy club. It's
Awesome.
real life. You know what? I just love it.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's good to like I
And
say,
I'll
it's
see you
this
tattoo.
it's these things that make you laugh and that's what makes you, kind of really feel good in it.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
just to finish off right, but I'm saying the double side of this with vintage, you know, I'm not plugged in or anything. This thing sings like a bird, and
The
I know,
unfortunate the
you
unfortunate
know,
irony is I can in my head hear that sounds like, but the phone decides it's going to cut off those frequencies on on Zoom.
So
Damn it!
I just know when I plug this thing in with a slide, it's just gonna I'll pay homage to Rick Richards from the Georgia Satellites, my favorite guitar player of all time.
Yeah,
Yep. I dropped this. It's
yeah,
exciting times.
exactly. And like I say, people can obviously tune in and get that new album at the end of the month and hear what it's all about.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Listen, let me say thanks, and I shall get out your hair and let you on with the rest of your day since the day is young there. But I really do appreciate it,
All
man.
right.
Thanks again.
I'm going to start recording today. Got some new stuff.
Even better. Even
Yeah,
more intrigued. Listen, well,
that's
thanks
it.
again, man. All right.
My friend,
Cheers, man.
keep in touch.